What's going on today?
I guess I just don't know who was running it now.
I brought some Aina aid to talk about how to like heal on a mass scale and kind of the idea and theory behind kind of what we learned with ultra low cost methods. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And then, but before we start, I think James had wanted to make an announcement.
Hey everybody, I got a business plan development workshop coming up here in Hilo, and it's being offered as a 5-day workshop, 4 hours each class, total 20 hours of business plan development knowledge. And we're conducting it at the University of Hawaii Innovation Center, which is right in Hilo town, right near Sharkies. Yeah, so we have 25 slots open in this class. Tuition is $269, but that's a full comprehensive business plan development course. So you learn how to build a business plan. This course was actually designed to be for farmers. And so I've actually broadened it out because a lot of people that enroll in the courses aren't actually farmers. They're doing like added value products. So it's really just how to succeed with a business plan development in Hilo. So we come up with the actual business plan drafting itself, and then the components and any resources that might be available in the community to help you build a business plan. And then this is great for going out and getting lending, or just maintaining your own finances and your own business and the way you do things. So I know a lot of farmers that don't actually have business plans, and they don't have things written down in an actual plan. So this is an opportunity for a lot of folks to learn what it takes to build a business plan and how they're valuable, and if you need lending, it's definitely something to consider. So actually, I'll leave flyers here. I got a wife and 2 kids with stomach flu, so I was planning on staying here and watching this, but they called and said we're exploding, so come on home. So I'll leave these here, and then if anybody has any questions, you can hit me up in the email or the phone number here as well.
When does it start?
It's April 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, so it's a Monday through Friday, that second or first week of April. We'll take it's cash or check beforehand, and then up to the first class you can leave the class, and then after that tuition is set. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your time.
So does anyone else have any announcements? So in terms of what we've been doing in natural farming lately was Cho Young Song, Master Cho's son, just visited us again. He's really interested in pursuing and developing like an international learning center here. So both Master Cho and Cho Young Song both are really been interested in making this happen. So they just visited last week. Yeah, last week.
Came 27th of February. March 1st.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, because when they came and they did the workshop here, they were so excited and really had identified a lot of to say this in like a friendly way, like low-hanging fruit in terms of agricultural innovation. And they said to me several times that, you know, like they've really reviewed all the farming information there is, you know, like Asian agriculture and, you know, American agriculture, like all around the world. And they believe theirs to be the most superior in a sense of the most low cost, and then the most agriculturally friendly on top of that, because you can afford to treat large tracts of land. So one of the things that's different about Hawaii than Korea is we have like large tracts of land to farm, and so their methods to be able to cover that area. I think that's why they were so excited to be here.
That's the weather. You know, Korea, you can have only one crop a year for cabbage, for the kimchi, But here, we can have 5 crops in the Weinert. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so I think what they're planning on doing is to put in a couple acre farm that would then have all the crops that we grow in Whole Foods, and to try to replicate any and every situation. So they looked at our land to see if that was a spot they wanted to do it, but our land isn't like, there's a couple of valleys that run through it, so they can't really have like one farm where you just like look across and you see like everything growing. So they're looking at maybe a few other spaces to put it in, and then that enables them to have you know, like a learning lab here that anything and everything they can test here growing. So when they wanted to like prove out papaya, they can do it. Banana, they can do it. All these things. So they'll be returning again in late April, early May, right in that time zone. And at that time, we're probably going to have another workshop. And this time, instead of having the workshop be all day, it would be probably from like 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock or 1 to 5, kind of in the afternoon. So that way, and just run it in the afternoons. That way, more people can get to the, because I know it was, almost everybody that's here was there, right? And it was kind of hard to like feed your animals or like do any of that stuff, right? So I'm thinking if we do an afternoon thing, it might be approachable to more people. So we're thinking of that, and yeah, so they saw the projects and they scouted the sites this time, and that's essentially what they were doing on this trip, and also figuring out the logistics of being Koreans and then working in Hawaii, and how that relationship works, like visas and things like that. So just a whole bunch of investigations. So if you know, like when they come back, if you're interested in having them check out or assess your land, or even your neighbors, so that way your neighbors aren't spraying gross stuff near you, then they're going to be available that time. So I think that's.
We're well interested. They're interested in coming to Kohala.
I think.
We have 7 acres, so, plus surrounded by 300 acres. So.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll I know, but we'll be contacting. I guess we'll have a meeting between now and then, and through email, get that set up. So that, and then while they were here visiting,
Jake, call me on that issue. Call me as soon as you can, I might have a spot for you.
okay,
Thanks.
okay, hold on.
See you.
So the other thing they did, this is like world first too, is they gave me the Korean book, which is now in print. Yep, signed. So they now have this book, the Ultra Low Cost, out in Korean, and then the English book here, which we got at the seminar for $50, is now on Amazon for $75. So you scored. Should have bought like 10. But this book is now, it's in the Kindle version, and then it's here in hard copy. Has anyone read almost the entire book? Yeah. It's really good, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very easy to understand. Pictures, very well done. The guy that did the translating did a really great job. I think.
Yeah, it's spot on, yeah. For coming from this Korean into like English, it's solid, yeah. So yeah, I think this book changed the world, bring organic farming, and I really do think that the Jadam methods developing is going to help us transition any and all farms to pro-environmental and then keep our yields up and switch to natural farming. Yes.
I want to just share with you. I went into their website. It's in Korean. You cannot read it yet, but they will have a American English site. But they one of the grape farmer. He used their method, but then I don't know how many times they treated the land, their land, but they didn't have to give any, after that, any nutrient, 10 years. They just water and then produce all these great grapes. It's amazing. The farmer wrote it in their, they can write what they're experiencing in their website. Yeah, I thought, whoa.
So they just treat it once and then for 10 years?
Not once. There's all different stuff going on. Yeah, but then one of the stories like that.
Yeah, so sharing online through the Jadam site.
Yeah, they share, farmers share all their experience.
So well, yeah, I think in terms of support, they'll help us out that way, and then once they move to Hawaii, it'll be really easy to get in contact. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today was just making the concept in here super simple and kind of translating it into like a mindset or a concept that we can think about from the island perspective, and this even to like ancient Hawaiians and how they were thinking about the environment and the different forces of nature coming together. And so I, with Joe McGinn, who's a natural farmer on Oahu, talked to me about making Aina aid. So you know like Gatorade, like it's what you drink when you're doing, but this is Aina aid, it's what you give to your plants, right? So when he was describing the natural farming things, he was talking about Aina aid. How do you get your plants like pumped up and ready to go to the gym? You give them Aina aid. And so I took that name and put it on here, and it's, like if you ever watched the movie Idiocracy, it's like electrolytes with something craves, right? I forget, but
Yeah, they spray it up.
so it's Aina aid, what our land craves. So in the recipe they give us, there's 3 simple things, and I was really thinking about this, and their recipe is in the book, and they call this Jadam microbe solution, JMS. Does anyone know the page number?
Yeah, I know what
Yes, yes. Yeah, true.
So here it is. It's in the book here, and they show it happening. And so essentially, what they're doing is they're starting with potatoes. And so in my picture here, I have a little taro. So what the potatoes are is a starch or a simple sugar. And the same thing is true of the taro. It's like a little simple starch. Then they add in salt into the mix. And on here, in the middle, I have seawater. So this is our salt going in. And then they add in leaf mold that they find on the ground. And so to simulate leaf mold, what I did is I said it was the kane, or the menehunes. And so you have the life, the seed, and the starch. And in Hawaiian culture, those are traditionally attributed to, like the man is kane, or that life force form. The middle one is kanaloa, which is like the seawater, and being in the ocean, the kind of the god of the ocean. And then the starch is kind of like Lono, which is the caretaker, the guy that makes all the plants happen. And so if you take those three and you make it, Kane is the microorganisms, or the little menehunes, the tiny things that work, that we don't see happen. Kanaloa being our ocean, and Lono being our starch. These are the same three things, like archetypal forms that they're including into this mixture in the same way. So you have potatoes, salt, microorganisms, which is the leaf mold, and then you add those into water and you swirl it around. And when that happens, you combine it in the perfect, like in the right ratio, then it starts to bubble like this. And has anyone done it and successfully got it to bubble? And it works really well, yeah?
This stuff has revolutionized our farm just in a month. I have fruit trees we've had no fruit on them for 4 or 5 years. And in 2 weeks, using JMS and JLF, we had blossoms and now fruit. It's unbelievable.
What kind of fruit?
Well, one of them's a Suriname cherry tree. We have two side by side, and one's been prolific every year. The one has never produced one. It's just full.
Wow,
And a mango tree that's never yet,
Huh?
a mango tree that's about 6 years old, that's never yet produced, is now full of blossoms.
Oh, my.
And,
Orange tree, lemon tree, a couple lemon trees, limes, just unbelievable. Avocado, one avocado trees had no avocados on it in 4 or 5 years.
Gotta have a true arrow to
Sorry?
pronounce that.
Yeah, it just,
No, I believe what Dr. Clark's saying, that's almost like newsworthy. If you wrote to the Tribune Herald and you told them, miracle in my yard,
yeah,
of
just
just
say,
like,
you
Yeah.
from Kohala, smoke too much weed up there, bro.
really? Put it in the Kohala Mountain News or something.
Yeah, right.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, no, well, spreading what the success stories, I think, is one of the most important things with this. Because people often ask, like, where is the proof? And it's hard to, like, prove that, but if your proof wasn't before and then now it is, obviously something is going on, right?
I think that's what Adam wants the farmers to, what you experience, and take a picture and what happened after they used their solution. Yeah. So other farmers can see. Even myself, I just used JMS. My plan was thinking I'm not doing good one plan, and I gave maybe 1 gallon. And next day already it just sprout. I mean, you can see the energy. It just perk up.
Amazing.
I mean, it's amazing.
But I figured in a month, maybe like God came down at night and said,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fool with you guys, so I wanna wait a couple of months and see, Because I mean, this is like a miracle. We've been trying to do it, and we still have a lot of questions about it. We haven't made our wedding agent yet, so we got all the stuff, and I saw your video on YouTube video, so. We also had a grove of bananas that had bunchy top, and so I remember what Master Joe said, the first thing we did was strengthen the immune system of the plant before you try anything else. So, put your low on that. Put your left, about 85% of what's on. Still have on some of the older bananas, there still is a little bit, so I want to see the next couple of weeks before we spray any sulfur.
Cool. Just the JMS. That's like a miracle.
You don't want to get too excited yet, because it's only been a month since the workout,
Yeah, yeah.
a little over a month.
So easy.
Secret.
Well, so you think it's a secret, but actually it's been around for like thousands of years, the same idea. And just figuring out how to combine it and what do the words actually mean. And so we know that this is the microorganisms. So gathering that, either the really nice, we actually asked Young Song while he was here, because my dad made JMS and he used from the wood chip pile. And from the wood chip pile, you see all the nice mycelium inside of it, and you think, oh, that's really rich. But he said, don't use that one. He said to use the one where it's, you can take the mulch and you put it on the ground, and then the dirt, and then grab like the dirt, that little bit of stuff that starts to puff up. You know how the dirt kind of balls together under, and that's the stuff you want. More than anything, that's what he was saying. So go to an area where you see mycelium, but in dirt, not mycelium in wood, not mycelium in a compost pile, is what he was suggesting. Because those are the microbes that really work in the dirt. So
Actually, we harvested a lot of leaf mold from an old wood chip pile. We used all the wood, and it was the stuff way at the bottom. That's,
didn't work good.
worked good, so
Yeah.
if this worked even better, I don't know if we can handle it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, and when I did it too, what I did is I took some dirt that was just like it was under nice leaf pile, took some of that, and then I also took some nice like composty stuff and put it in, and I did use as well. So but I think the main thing is diversity overall in here, the diversity of the microbes being the most important.
You know that vine that's, I don't know if you guys have it down here, but we have it everywhere in Kohala where it goes around plants, trees. Sorry? You know what it is? This stuff is really super aggressive, so Emilio was helping us out, he's like, let's try this stuff is so aggressive, and it's just unbelievable, the energy in there, I mean, you can feel it, it's just like, yeah! So anything that's super aggressive, invasive species stuff, putting it in the jail, we're trying different things, so.
So the basic recipe here, I made it instead of a 132 gallon thing as they were suggesting, which I don't have a 132 gallon container. I don't know anyone who really does. I have trash cans though, and trash cans are about 25 gallons, the one I have at least. And I measured it by just filling up the 5-gallon bucket into the trash can. About 4 or 5, 20 gallons, 25 gallons, somewhere in between there went into it. And so I scaled the recipe down to 25 gallons and just made it so it's 100 grams of leaf mold, 100 grams of sea salt, and then 200 grams of the boiled potato. And that is a lot better and easier for me. And if you want to know how much those are, and you don't have a scale, you can come up and measure the salt and the potatoes to see how much, if I put these 2 potatoes on, how much does that weigh? It's 346 grams. So to give you an idea of what does 200 grams of something look like, because you don't have to be right on with this, it's just an approximation, but if you know like what this looks like, then when you go home, super easy to know, okay, 200 grams is this much and that much salt. So I found that the easiest, because I really had no idea how much 100 grams of salt was without a scale until I measured it, and the first time I did it, I had like half as much salt. The second time I did it, I added like the correct amount. And both times it worked, but I think I got more minerals the second time.
So you're using salt rather than just getting seawater?
Yeah, you can also use seawater, but I just got a bag of sea salt and was using this so that way I knew. Because I'm always curious if I go to certain areas, there's fresh water coming out, and I don't know if I'm getting the same amount of salt, so I just used, you could do either though. Sea salt's easy.
Did you get good bubbling with yours? Good foaming?
I did, the first time I didn't, and then the next times I did. And I increased the amount of the initial leaf mold that I put in my second time, and then I got more bubbling. I think the first time I didn't put enough.
Are you using any manure?
Not in my initial part.
Oh, no, that's you.
Oh, jail, yeah. I did, and then I just bought, this fog mister thing, and I just used it the other day, and now all of my pigeon peas that I cut back, they're all like, I don't know if it's just because it's spring or whatever, but they're all just throwing so many new, little leaf growths on this, like, stump that I had cut back. And I figured it would grow back, but it's growing so, so much on there that I think it's because I sprayed this mist thing. I did it about 5 days ago. And I'm just testing out this mister before I like recommend it to people. Because it was about $170 and it plugs in. And essentially what it does is it's like a reverse vacuum. So instead of like sucking stuff, it's blowing it out, and then it has like a little mister right in the center. And so when you turn it on, it sounds like kind of like a jet engine. It just blasts all this stuff about, I don't know, 20 feet out in front of you. And so I'm just testing that out to like really mist everything. And because I really wanted to see, I'm testing the papayas at my house that I have. There's all that black spot, that black mold on it. And that's one of the things that we can't have for the papaya project. So I'm really trying to eliminate that using, and I think a small mister is the way to really like coat my whole pot. And I used the wetting agent in it too. And I felt a little weird walking through all the wetting agent thing. I felt like afterwards, like, after I was walking through my garden, after I misted it with the wetting agent, everything looked so clean. Like I just sprayed soap on everything, right? But everything had like this super clean look to it. And I felt like a little bit like I had like a layer of wax on me. Which is probably just like the misted soap.
Yes. You used wetting agent on the stuff, and did you combine it with anything?
Yeah, so I used wetting agent, and then I put in my JMS. I diluted the JMS 1 to 5 into there, and then I diluted the wetting agent 1 to 150, which is like a fair amount. It's more than, and then I put in my fermented plant juices into that. Yeah.
So you mixed all that together, and that's what your mist was.
Yeah. And so far, I've only missed it once. I'm gonna continue to experiment with that and test like how long the sprayer is good and everything works for me.
Well, when we made the JMS, we tried several things about how long you'll let to get that foaming, circling action. And so we took a black garbage container, and it created that stuff in 1 day because the heat, when we set it out in the sun, etc. So I don't know if that's good or not, but before with the other containers, like that Sinotech 55 gallons blue, we have some red ones, so we're trying different things, but the black, in 1 day it was red. Unbelievable. So, I don't know what you guys have experienced with that.
Well, I noticed my dad did it at the same time as me, and he did his on the south side of the house, and I did mine on the north side of the house, and his was ready faster than mine. And I think because it was in the sun during the day, and the water was actually warmer in his barrel.
So,
Are you guys covering yours?
Yeah. Yeah, in my experience, it's about 3 days for me to reach peak bubble, and then it's about, I have to do it that 3rd day, otherwise it's power right after that.
so what do you do from 1 to 150?
Yeah. So 1 to 150 to like stick it, and then if for pesticides it's 1 to 30 as like a kill bugs.
Sulfur with the sulfur.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, more of the flyers that they.
I got this one. So what I wanted to do is to make it more approachable and more easy for everyone to understand. I was explaining the farming the other day, and I was talking about it, but really, it's more than farming too. Like, if we start spraying this around our rivers and everywhere, it'll really improve our whole environment. And because this is so inexpensive to make, if we really start thinking about it that way as like Aina aid, because we often think here like farming and like how to increase your crops and how to do this and that, but also like runoff and all that is important. And so I was trying to package this in a way that it's kind of like, this doesn't necessarily appeal to a farmer, but almost anybody, to say like how to make this, but then why and how to use it, and how to, you know, like if you have a lot, you just start spraying this stuff, now your lot is going to absorb pollution and turn pollution into nutrients and grow better. And so that was kind of my goal with this. I think larger audience and sharing this knowledge, you know, we all know about health and those benefits of farming this way. But yeah, I mean, this, I also put this, so to make it more available, I also bought AinaAid.com, and I'm gonna put that up. And it would be nice to, if you, like Lou just gave some testimonial about it, but to put some things like about how it's helped you, and then just advertise Aina aid to people, just so everyone's like, well, imagine if that was like the hip thing, everyone's like putting Aina aid on their land, and then, you know, like, all make it fun and exciting. That's why I use cartoons.
Should be your part of your campaign slogan.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I
Right?
can't talk about that here though.
Oh, sorry. In America, man, you can
Oh,
be able to say anything.
yeah, but
Sorry.
no, it's all good. As Lou did mention, I am running for mayor, but I don't want to have with Jane have that thing be where I cannot host a natural farming meeting and I cannot be here. So I don't want to have a,
Sorry.
no, it's cool. I mean, it's good to know. I think ideas like this will benefit our island though. Promoting this, getting,
Every once in a while, you look at the toilet, here is septic tanks. Yeah, I mean, those kind of things, you know, we should develop the idea how we can clear the environment. Then actually, I used the Chadam sulfur solution they didn't give afterwards. I put my rash. I have a itch rash, like atopic dermatitis. It helped.
What did you put on?
No rash.
Sulfur?
Yes.
I've been doing the sulfur thing too, but I get,
You
yeah.
know, he said he treated all this athletic food. 3 minutes, you soak it in, that's all. You know, so it's not, you know, toxic in a sense that you know, it damages bad, but it works really good. A lot of athletic food, I give you prescription, oh, that's so expensive, it doesn't work.
Do you dilute with the water?
You can, but
1
you
to
know.
1,000?
no, so
10 to 1.
10 to 1?
Actually, you can just, you know, Q-tips, you just soak it in and just rub it on that
Straight?
side. No, just rub.
No, but I mean, you didn't dilute it?
You didn't want
No,
it?
so the recipe that you make, the original one, then you want to dilute that 1 to 10. Then
You can try that.
no, then from there, then I gave that to my friend. I diluted 1 to 10. He put it on his really gross toe fungus, and now his toenail is coming back.
Wow.
Whereas he had that thing for, I don't know, like way too long.
Actually, you know, those things are as long as it's not really toxic burn or anything, I think it's good for. If it's good for the plants, why not we try? You know?
The thing that you flush down the toilet is very, very expensive to buy. It's in microorganisms. They're
You mean this one?
Puncture?
No, the
For the
one
septic tank?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're very,
This is nothing.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I haven't tried it, but I just got the idea from him and talking about this.
No, and Hilo Bay too, I saw from somebody, they were doing a study of whether they should make a hole in the break wall or not. And they were showing me the E. coli counts in the bay. And apparently only like a small part of Hilo has actual like, everyone else toilet goes down and then opens into like the flow field. And so all the water goes down into the bay, that's sewer water. And the E. coli is way up in the bay. So if you were to put JMS in your toilet and you flush that, then instead of E. coli going in the bay, now it's JMS going in the bay. So it's like, it's cleaning.
Actually, even liquid armor 4 works too.
Yeah.
Because when you smell, you can put liquid armor 4. But the JMS is similar thing.
Yeah.
Because even when I didn't I had to test 3 different kinds. But when I use a mold, you know, from the, when I make the JMS, I try with the mold and I try with IMO 4. Also, I try with IMO 2. And it all worked. Yeah, if you can see the bubble, you know, circling bubble, you have to watch that, yeah. It's in 3 days. But it worked really, really well. All 3.
Besides potatoes, have you tried other things with potatoes or taro, or you just tried potatoes?
I used also taro, like, it was, yeah, poi, taro. And it worked with the taro. The potatoes were faster. The taro took an extra day for the taro one to go. But it's still absolutely possible. It's really any starch. I think just the potato is the ideal, like, breaks down fast starch for the system. But I haven't tried cassava yet. But I want to try it because yeah.
How about the sweet
So
potato?
we've been trying 4 different
Did
kinds
you try
of
sweet
potatoes.
potato?
Just to see, but, and the yellow potatoes, I don't know why, they didn't do much better. With jam also, JMS. Yeah, we tried red, russets, and then the brown
How
potato.
about purple?
Yellow, so I don't know why that is.
How about purple?
Which one?
Lou,
Yellow potato,
Lou, did you
Like
try
you
the
got
purple one?
both,
Purple.
yeah.
I'm gonna try everything.
Is
Not
there-
the sweet
Yeah.
potato.
Because it's real high.
We haven't tried
Never
the sweet
tried
potato yet.
Here, the edible herb potato.
Edible
Yeah,
carrot.
but you can use any carbohydrate, but the Johnson said the potato,
Fast.
yeah, is the fastest.
So any questions on that at all? I mean, yeah, no, I mean, pretty simple. If you want to see how much the potatoes are, how much that salt weighs, yeah, the scale. I just brought that for people to see. Other than that, I don't know, maybe we could grab food and then just like natural farming discussion with each other.
GLF or
Or, yeah, if anybody has any questions, answer any questions.
The one was application and harvesting on like low function harvesting stuff. We harvest the same time.
I think the only one you wouldn't want to harvest the same day is the sulfur, and just because of the smell. But any other thing, there was no precautions for that. Yeah.
What about salmonella getting?
The idea, if you make your JMS properly, then the idea of any kind of contamination like that is extremely slim, because your JMS, the power of your JMS is in diversity. So if one thing like salmonella was out of balance, and that's when you'd see like a symptom of salmonella, because there's always going to be a little bit everywhere. But if it's taking off, then you're not having diversity. And so if you So the properly made Janus has zero possibility of having salmonella contamination outbreak from it. And
But my thought is why you wanted to give a neutral when you're harvesting it? To me, it doesn't make sense.
I was asking, when is the time difference? When can you?
Last
you have to
nutrient?
wait?
Even before, so I would do
Would it
at
be
least,
1 day, 2 days, half a
and
day?
maybe at least 1 week
so
before harvest. If you're gonna give something,
we're actively running an experiment right now where we take the papaya fruit and then dip it into the wetting agent. And then we're doing one where you dip it in the wetting agent with the microorganism. And then we're doing one where you dip it in the wetting agent with the sulfur in it. And the idea of that is post-harvest treatment. And the idea is to see if we can prevent rot in transit shipping. Because on some of the papayas, right where you pick them, you get stem rot that goes in. And so we're actively seeing which of those is the most effective to prevent that. And so actually, after harvest, we're dipping it in a microbe solution, and we're experimenting with that right now.
They would apply to lettuce as well. Once you pack them, a lot of these things are
Yep.
Are you saying any trend yet?
It's too early to say. We just started up.
Another question is,
So far, I've been going around.
Can you repeat the question now?
So he was asking about county water and chlorine, if that's a problem. And I found that the chlorine is not a problem for even for my microbes, because I do it at my house, which I use rainwater from the water tank. And then I also do it at the school garden where I use a hose water, which is just straight county city water. And I found that it works in both cases. I'm pretty sure when I'm spraying it through it smells like chlorine, so I think it's off-gassing pretty well. However, when I have been testing with the water agent, using the wetting agent to test the hardness of the water, I found that every time I've tested county water, it's always been much harder than rainwater. The rainwater is always pretty soft. It makes a bunch of bubbles on the top. Every time I've tested county water and I shake it, I don't get the bubbles to stay on the top for more than like 3-4 seconds. They all disappear. So I know that in terms of water hardness and effectiveness of the wetting agent won't be as effective in county water. And that was actually one of the things, my dad just got a water softener to run through so that he can, for this experiment. Because you can't use the wetting agent in hard water, it won't adhere. And the other day we did I was talking to somebody and they were looking up what's the difference between a detergent and a soap. Like you buy laundry detergent versus laundry soap. And it turns out that detergents have water softening chemicals in them. And that's the difference, that's the definition difference. So that when your laundry is in the laundry, you put in the detergent, it automatically softens your water to clean the way that it cleans. But if you just put a soap in and you're running hard water, it may not clean your clothes the same way. So when they sell detergents, it has a softener in it, which we just learned may or may not be damaging to the environment depending on how it then decomposes after it goes out. And so this soap that we use always breaks down. Like you have to look at the hardness of your water for its effectiveness.
yeah.
So
Have you tried that?
so recently,
Have you tried that?
I haven't used it in the clothes wash yet, but I do have I made a bottle of it, just like a water bottle, and then I just took my knife and poked the top in it. And now I have a little squirt soap thing, and I use it for all my dishes now to wash it, and it's effective. I want to try it with putting in like some essential oil flavorings, like scents to it. So, because the regular scent is kind of like, it's okay. But everything smells like wedding age in your house.
One thing that, county water, chlorine, mostly if you wait for several hours, it's the effort of alcohol. So that might be something that's not usually needed.
And I haven't tested that either. If county water that's sat out for a day with the, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the water hardness has to do with mineral content. You have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering about gray water and how does that affect the plants, and if it's damaging to plants, like gray water from the washing machine and
So-
dishwashing.
This soap, this wetting agent that we make should not be damaging to the environment. It all depends on the amount of dilution that's happening.
But Greg, my question is like, what about the water coming out of a clothes washer with detergent in it? How does that affect?
Just regular detergent.
Yeah, laundry detergent. Yeah, how does that affect plants, do you know?
I would say if it doesn't say biodegradable on the package, then it's probably got something that's not going to break down. And so you would want to plant plants there that are going to trap and like accumulate that and not eat them.
Okay.
Yeah. Bananas are better. Coconuts, and just eat the coconuts. All right, so let's make a circle. Say the whole mind.
Maybe they'll get something.
So everyone familiar with the whole mind? Ho mai kai ke mai luna mai ye. Ona mea guna noia ona mere. Ho mai. Ho mai. Ho mai ye. Ho mai kai ke mai luna mai ye. Ona mea una noia ona mere. Ho mai. Ho mai. Ho mai ye. Ho mai kai ke mai luna mai ye.